Sorry about the audio. I currently at the moment have a choice between being clear or being audible. Yeah, my fucking iPad is a piece of shit. Yeah, blame Apple. Today we're going to talk about Fallout, the TV show, and why it'll probably suck. First, here are some possible reasons why it might not. It's got Walton Goggins in it. It's being directed and it was created and pitched for TV to Bethesda by a guy by the name of Jonathan Nolan, who is the brother of Christopher Nolan and is responsible for some pretty good fucking TV series. He's the guy who created Person of Interest, which is a TV series that if you haven't watched, you should. It's really fucking good. And even though it was made almost 10 years ago, it's all about prescient forms of surveillance, prescient as in very current serious shit that we're dealing with as far as AI, about a government-controlled surveillance state, and about how it could be abused by rogue operatives. It's kind of a cool show. I recommend it. So Christopher Nolan is not a talentless hack. And as far as I know, he's not a far-left ideologue. And like I said, Walton Goggins in it. And what else do I got? It looks like people who are working on the show have played the game. That's as far as I can go. Okay, let's rattle off a laundry list of why this show will probably suck. Let's get, just real quick, mention out of the way all the ones everyone else is going to talk about. It's probably written by a bunch of women, okay? The main actor is a woman who's only starred in like Disney goy slop and girl flick garbage. Emma Purnell sucks, and she's the main lead actor of the show, actress. Let's see, what else? The entire art style as far as like costume design of the show is based on Fallout 4, which had the ugliest character model aesthetics of pretty much the entire series, including Fallout 3. It obviously looks like it's going for something significantly uglier than Fallout 4 or even Fallout 76 when it comes to the overall aesthetic, the setting. First of all, if you're going to be set in kind of like the desert of post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, why are you using oversaturated colors in all your costumes? Why are you using bright lighting that doesn't look even remotely like natural sunlight? And again, like when the whole hallmark of I am going to shoot a desert area, what are you looking for? Desaturated colors, earthen tones. You're getting a lot of metallics and deep neon fucking primary colors in this promo footage we're seeing in these trailers. All right, next, what have we learned about how they're setting the plot? It's set between New Vegas and Fallout 4 in Los Angeles, which is a region that would be controlled by the NCR. Have you seen or heard any tell of the new California Republic in any promotional material about this TV show? No, you haven't. The only authority figure that you've heard about, and they've only been presented in what vaguely looks like a villainistic enemy bad guy light, is the Brotherhood of Steel. And out of all the fucking places in California that the Brotherhood of Steel could be, and could be maybe the law in the region, even though the Brotherhood of Steel has never been interested in law enforcement ever, except for in Fallout 3, which is the sole exception, where a rogue dude on the other side of the country from Brotherhood of Steel leadership moved in and decided to become a philanthropic guy, and in fact was not only excommunicated by the rest of the wider Brotherhood of Steel nationally, but had like a significant member of his his manpower, a significant number of his Brotherhood of Steel soldiers mutiny and leave and go out on their own. So the Brotherhood of Steel doesn't do law and order, good guy or bad. They run around stealing tech. Okay. Next red flag, your main character is a vault dweller. After reading all of Christopher Nolan's interview answers about how he kind of chose to write the story, he wanted to make its own self-contained story that was apart from the other games in a locale that was separate from the other games. He chose Los Angeles, the goddamn heart of the NCR. NCR, which is a faction that went to war with and beat the Brotherhood of Steel in warfare, by the way, which apparently no longer exists. But that's a nitpick. We got to get into, again, more of the serious shit. Almost all the props in the show are based on Fallout 4. Fallout 4's props are ugly. Their stim packs look stupid. All their guns are literally non-functional from just the eye test. You know, this is worse than Fallout 3's the drum on the combat shotgun wouldn't even feed into the barrel. What the fuck is this? So it's going to be aesthetically ugly because Fallout 4, at least as far as like models of weapons, models of usable items, and models of character gear, is hideous. It's really ugly. And as much as I am a defender of Fallout 4 as an overall game experience, the aesthetic of it is by far, well, not by far, it's the second worst, by far. Problem with it, you know, storyline being the other. Okay, and any promotional material, have we got any idea for why Emma Purnell, the Vault Wanderer, who is, again, a young girl, and tell me you aren't fucking tired of young, witty, quirky female protagonists. I know we all are. And it's not because they aren't heckin' valid and shit. It's because they're done to death for the last 35 fucking years. Fuck off. Fuck off. Stop it. You can't have an action show with a male lead anymore. It is fucking impossible unless that male is not white. Period. End of fucking story. But okay. Maybe she's written in such a way that Emma Purnell, an actress I don't have faith in, would make her likable. Walton Goggins is in it, and it is unclear whether he is an ally, a side character, or an enemy, but he's clearly a ghoul. Does he attempt to affect a ghoul accent? No. Can I really blame him as an actor for not doing this for his entire acting performance? Can't blame him. But still. We have seen some of the monsters. Curiously enough, a couple of the monsters I've seen looked, again, lifted directly from Fallout 4. And it is a monster that lives in an oceanic environment, attacking people on screen in the trailer from beneath sand. So an aquatic queen mud crab attacks from sand. And then I also saw a I forget what they're called. Poisonous something or other. You know what I'm talking about. They're the anglerfish looking dudes from Far Harbor, which is again a saltwater marsh and oceanic environment. And where did we see this monster? In the desert. A monster that is based on a deep sea fish. Desert. Okay. That's largely what I've got. How does the budget look from just the little snippets I've been seeing from trailers? Budget looks good. The only thing that's going to make it cheap, or look cheap, I should say, is how fake it looks. And the thing that's going to make it look fake is the prop department fucked up, and the lighting department wanted it to look as clean and shiny as a Fast and the Furious movie. Okay, if you want your setting to be gritty, it should not look clean, because clean looks what? Artificial, especially in what? A gritty environment. Urban environments are not clean. Desert environments are not clean. If your character looks like she just washed her hair 2 seconds ago, and not me, who washed my hair this morning and I look frizzy as goddamn hell because I live in a humid climate, her outfit is neither faded, which honestly, even if you just walked out of a vault, I would guess that vault outfits shouldn't look bright, fucking bleeding, freshly dyed blue and yellow, if only because of age and that they've been washed and worn by people for 220 fucking years. Why do they look clean? That screams fake to the human eye and especially the human subconscious. It fucks with your suspension of disbelief, and Fallout is an incredibly fantastical environment. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, here's another problem that you're really going to encounter, and I'll try not to go too far into this because I didn't want to do more than 15 minutes of it. Doesn't need it. Fallout has elements of humor, satire, cosmic horror, adventure, crime, drama, suffering, loss, and grief, as well as hope and whimsy and all this shit. And Christopher Nolan, in interviews, said, I am so glad that I can do anything I want because all the games are really what you make of them. So I have the opportunity to make this what? Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be gritty? I saw mostly that there was very, very little dialogue, and what of it was kind of awkward, quirky. Hi, I'm Emma, the Vault Dweller. I'm a fish out of water. Hi, I am Sheriff Ghoul Walton Goggins. You just shot me with a chem dart, and it didn't affect me because I do drugs all the time. That's about the dialogue I got. Do I know why she leaves the vault? No. Do I know if she has a good MacGuffin, like the Gek or the water purification chip, or if she's just going out there to do some shopping and gets in trouble? Don't know. Probably the former, but that's not a good idea, because you can go MacGuffin and tie her into the thing, or you could socialize her into the setting. That would be better. Because even though the MacGuffin sounds like the easiest way to get the character on the hero's journey, the right thing to do in an immersive setting is to choose the immersive option. It'd be better if she gets roped into a Magnificent Seven type situation where she helps defend somebody from something, which honestly I kind of see some evidence of maybe them doing that, and I would prefer that they do. But in conclusion, when I see the finer details of filmmaking, and it's not, we made the power armor on the Brotherhood of Steel guys look exactly like the T-60B power armor from Fallout 4. Great. That's uglier power armor. It's honestly probably a more difficult to maintain prop than the way power armor used to look in previous games. And you made it too shiny. You made it kind of fake and plastic looking. Shows a lack of care. You didn't light it properly. Shows a lack of talent. Shows a lack of care. You chose a really open-ended, it could be anything, who the fuck knows, line of promotion when speaking to the audience through the media. I'm not really going to talk about the plot. Red flag. I'm not really going to talk about the characters. Red flag. I'm just going to answer questions about whether or not I'm going to be faithful to any of the games. And my choice is no, but I have a logical reason for not being faithful to the games. Except, even if you're going to make it apart from the other games, Nolan did mention that he wanted to make it, fit into the setting. And then the first couple of things in the teaser trailer told the audience of the people who are lore fags and really care about that shit that it doesn't fit. Lack of care. So, here's the other thing. If you're modeling and banking, you're kind of angling, what angling you are doing to fans, or at least what you're drawing from. If you're angling to Fallout 4 fans, and you're modeling your story off of Fallout 4, and you're showing a lack of knowledge of any kind about New Vegas, or about Fallout 1 and 2 for that matter, that's a big red flag. But the biggest red flag to me, main actress, the complete lack of any explanation of what's going on, and what I'm being flashed at the teaser trailer is, the guy who cut out the power armor made it look good, and the guy who painted it look like shit. The guys who scouted locales and did the CGI for all the sand and shit did a good job. The guy who lit the actual in-fucking-camera actors did a bad job. Okay, like fucking this series is gonna be, I think, quality like Whiplash. It's probably gonna go back and forth from some cool shit to some pause shit to, oh my god, did you even play the games? To, wow, that was cool, to, wow, that looked like shit, and it's just gonna be a clusterfuck. Okay, so honestly, I think something kind of worse for Fallout fans is going to happen than if it was dog shit, which is it will suck enough to piss off everyone who cares and be just good enough to impress everyone who doesn't. And that's been a lot of shit throughout time. Even though I didn't want to ever fucking sit down and watch it, I did play the video game and did at least like the first one. The Last of Us, from what I saw, was a damn near 50-50 split of people who hated what they did with it and people who loved it to death, and no one who thought it was meh, which is probably what it was. A combination of good shit and bad shit and nothing in between. Just a herky-jerky good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. I'd honestly rather take mediocre. I'd rather take good. And I'd rather take dog shit. I don't want this jerk, 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 jerk. Because you know what it's going to make me do? That's going to make me sit down and analyze it and stress over it. Because that's the experience that I had playing Dad of War 4, the canoeing simulator. 10 out of 10 would row again. The God of War, 20, whatever the fuck it was. Obviously not the actual God of War. Which was not Kratos. Just a guy who looks like Kratos. He's 1.5 feet taller than Kratos. He has a beard. Kratos doesn't have a beard. He's aged a significant amount. Kratos doesn't age. He has a kid. Kratos doesn't have a kid. Kratos is dead. He had a wife. Wife is dead. Should have never had the wife or the kid. Kratos is dead. And he's in the North setting. And does the game ever tell you how he got there? Fucking no. But what does the game do well? Some of the action segments, some of the set pieces, and it had the most the most easy, reflexive, pull on your heartstrings, I just want my daddy to approve of me fucking storyline. And then they lie and claim the game is about Kratos growing up. No, it's not. He already grew up off screen, dead, in another fucking universe. And then we see him here years and years later, having aged, doesn't have the same weapons, doesn't have the same voice, doesn't have the same body, doesn't have the same fucking anything but the skin on him. Doesn't have the same personality either. And it didn't sell that he was a reformed rage guy, because if I saw, even in a couple flashbacks, this woman that he married taming him and making him want to start a family and live a simple life in a fucking log cabin instead of fucking destroying shit or destroying himself or any of the other fucking... I don't mean to go on a completely different franchise, but you see how here's something that was received quite positively. But if you break it down into its individual parts, is the game short? Yeah. Does the game have any fucking good bosses in it? No. It has one boss you fight 3 times, and 2 bosses you fight once, and then 50,000 cookie cutter trolls and ogres, which are all the same boss, and you fight them all collectively about 20 fucking times. Unacceptable. So, everything it does, graphics looks cool, sound design looks cool, music looks cool, world building setting looks cool. Oh, yeah, I love throwing the axe around, that's great. And then you go, oh, the people actually care about this franchise. They fucked it up, 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 they fucked it up. Does it even play like God of War 1? It's not isometric, it's not the same weapons, it's not the same kind of game, it's not even the same difficulty. It's 10 billion times easier than even God of War 3, which is 10 billion times easier than God of War 1, which is 10 billion times easier than God of War 2. Yeah, no, up and down. I don't want this from Fallout. So I didn't mean to add on that extra 5.5 minutes of ramble, but you see what I mean. I'm going to see a show that does something pretty well and pretty bad, and pretty well and pretty bad, and pretty well and pretty bad, and it's going to be whiplash for everyone paying attention. And unfortunately, what you have to do is shut your brain off, drink a bunch of beer, sit around friends, and shut up and let people enjoy things. No, I'm sorry. I believe value is a quantifiable fucking thing that you can argue amongst other people, and that you can make value judgments that play across this complete fucking lie and fabrication of subjectivity in art. No, every individual facet of what somebody likes and doesn't like about art is quantifiable and measured and measurable against other people's reasoning for what they like and don't like. Okay? Art is not fucking subjective. And even if you like it, it is possible to like bad things. There are lots of bad fucking things that I like in video games and in movies. They're called guilty pleasures. But in the guilty part of it means that I'm entitled to shame you for it. Because there's good reasons, or else you wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. And even if you pretend all art is subjective, guess what? We do have one metric that you can't deny, and it's called audience response. And if it's overwhelmingly negative, stop trying to pretend something's good. However, just because it's mixed or even positive doesn't mean I can't sit here and argue until the end of time that what you're supporting is at least mediocre, if not bad. And you won't be able to argue with me unless you've got some pretty good counter reasons. And usually they are, that doesn't matter. It's a show for kids. It's based on the video game. The video game is satire, which means anything goes. And that it doesn't have to be coherent or believable or make any level of sense. And the characters don't have to be relatable, dude. It just has to have cool explosions and gunfire and fucking people shooting up stim packs and big scary monsters. It'll be fucking A+, 5 stars, 10 out of 10, flawless. Kill yourselves.